Hey, so I want to clear a few things up. My marriage wasn't horrible in every aspect. Um, there were a lot of good times. I can't front, which is the main reason why I believe I stayed for so long. And when you're so in love with someone, you don't leave because of all the things that, or the few things that make you unhappy. Not to say that the things that made me unhappy were minute, because they weren't. But my marriage wasn't absolutely horrible all the time. The fact that I didn't feel loved and wanted was enough towards the end to cause a whole bunch of stuff, but it wasn't a horrible marriage the whole time. Um, Asking my wife to marry me was because of how I felt for her. It wasn't necessarily because of what I thought or didn't think she felt for me. And anyone who wants to share their stories, you can send me your videos if you have any videos to send, because you can relate, and then I'll post them. That's fine. But I don't do this for people to justify my actions or anything like that, because I've always said, and I'll still say, cheating was a decision, but it should have never been an option, but I chose that. And I know what brought me to the point to choose that. So I just, I don't know, maybe I should have had a little bit more self-worth to not stay for as long as I did, but I can't change that. I stayed, and it is what it is. So again, it wasn't absolutely horrible, but at this point, it is what it is, I guess. Today I had my first therapy appointment. It went very well. It was very emotionally exhausting. It was good to say everything, the good and the bad, to admit my wrongs, to take responsibility for all my wrongs, to put everything out there. Just don't hide anything, put it all out there. So we'll see what happens with that, but I'm going to continue to go once a week to try and figure out everything in my life, to put all the pieces together to figure out how to make shit better. I'm going to continue to try. I want to get to a point where if I'm unhappy doing stuff like this, wanting to kill myself, wanting to find love somewhere else, or when love comes my way, accepting it outside of my relationship isn't an option or an opportunity. I want to be able to be strong enough to say when I'm not happy in a situation that I need to get out of that situation. So I'm still learning. Hopefully it will work out in the end. So, and this weekend I get my little guy. I'm so excited. It's his birthday. He's going to be 2. He's a handful, but I love it. I waited for these moments forever, even though sometimes they're stressful. They're still my moments with my little guy. So I have him all weekend, and then he's going to have a party at Chuck E. Cheese, which is going to be awkward because I haven't seen my wife's side of the family since all this has happened. Not to say that they feel a certain way, but it's kind of, I know what I did, so, facing everybody is going to be weird, but I'm going to do it. So anything for my little guy. So if being there means I have to suffer and feel uncomfortable, again, not because anyone's making me feel a certain way, but because I know what I did and I know the repercussions of everything, I'm going to do it. I'll do anything for him, so I'm going to do it. So, and I hope that maybe in all these videos, someone will be able to relate. Someone will be able to understand and think of what I did and realize that a lot of the decisions I made weren't the right decisions. And perhaps they will take a different route. Because again, even though I took a chance to find happiness, and in the end I lost a lot, things I'll never get back again. maybe people seeing this will understand that there's a different route to do things. If you're not feeling what you should feel in a relationship, just leave, yo. Just leave. And again, I held on because I was so fucking in love. So in love. And I put up with a lot. I took a lot in the beginning of the relationship, towards the middle and the end and everything. But there were so many good things that I felt I had to hold on to. And the relationship I was in with my marriage was way better than any relationship I had been in. Because like I stated, I had a lot of physical abuse in relationships towards me, which caused me to act out in certain ways. But I just used to think, like, at least it's not that bad. So whatever I'm going through, it could always be worse. But I also realized that not feeling what you should feel in a relationship, as far as intimacy and love and all that, it's still not right. So maybe I was selfish in that aspect too, by staying because of my feelings. And it just, I don't know, I question a lot. Like, should I have even gotten married? Should I have stayed for as long as I've stayed? So many regrets about a lot of things. Maybe I should have just left my marriage first and then pursued what I felt. But it all happened so fast. Everything happened so fast. And the feeling I got from everything was something that I longed for so long that I didn't think about the next day or the next 2 weeks or the next year or anything like that. I was just feeling so good to finally feel that someone actually wanted me. Someone was actually excited to see me. Someone actually loved me. I really didn't think, even though cheating wasn't intentionally to hurt anyone, it was more all about me. Selfish, all about me. But I really didn't think that my wife would even take it as hard as she has, because for so long I really was confused about how she felt about me at all. And today, talking to my therapist, one of the things she said was, when your wife admitted to you that it wasn't about, well, that it was about your weight as far as why she wasn't intimate with you anymore, she was like, do you really believe that? Like, do you really believe that that's the only reason? And I've never believed that that was the only reason, because my weight fluctuates. I haven't always been the weight that I am right now, or the weight, well, I've lost weight, but the weight that I was before. So I think there's more to the story. I don't know if I'll ever find the answer, but even finding out the answer, it doesn't change anything. It's not gonna magically fix things. It's not gonna magically make any of this go away. The other day, someone asked me if I was gonna get a divorce, and I said, yeah, eventually. I know that that's what's everything's heading towards. And for a second, it was like, damn, I'm getting a divorce. Like, again, this is my second time. And it kind of makes you feel like a failure. That word is so heavy, divorce. So it's settling in. I mean, I know that we both decided we didn't want to be together. We decided that a little while ago. But it's still kind of heavy, divorce. The one thing I didn't want my child to be wrapped up in, because I am a child of divorce, my wife is not. She grew up seeing her mother dealing with a bunch of stuff and just she just kept on just trying to be strong and be there for her family. I think it's a generational thing. But she just kept on trying to be there for her family because there were kids involved. She didn't think that, she should have left. So I can understand to a certain extent why my wife feels the way she feels. But again, she doesn't know what it's like to be a child of divorce like I do. And this is something I didn't want for my son at all. And now here we are. But I've always said that staying for a child is not a reason to stay in a relationship. Eventually that child's going to feel your energy. They're going to feel that you're not happy. They're going to model your behavior. And you don't want your children to think that just going along with stuff is going to make you happy. So I don't know. I guess as time goes on, I'll realize if the decisions I made were the correct decisions. The way I went about it definitely is not the correct decision, but just being out of the relationship as time goes on, I'll realize what it does. My biggest concern is the impact that it is going to have on my son. I'm an adult, I can deal with certain things, but I never, he's not even going to have a memory really of his parents together in a relationship. People tell me that that is a good thing, but for some reason, I don't know. I never wanted him to not have any memory of us. All he's going to have is a memory of two separate households, parents that don't get along, and I'm trying to change that, by the way, but I don't want him to feel any of that. So I'm going to have to do my best to make sure that he knows he's loved. She's going to have to do her best to do the same thing. He needs to know that no matter what is going on with us as adults, as a child, he has love. He's taken care of. He doesn't have to want or need for anything.